Have you ever noticed how sometimes all it takes is one sentence? Not a speech, not a clever line, just a few words, spoken at the right moment, in the right way. And suddenly, the whole energy shifts. She leans in, her eyes soften. She starts to look at you, not like a stranger, not like a friend, but like something just clicked. And it's not about your looks, not your job, not your status. It's about something deeper. Because when you speak in a way that stirs emotion, to impress, to connect, you stand out without trying. These aren't pickup lines. They're not tricks you pull out of bars. These are tools, real, powerful tools grounded in psychology, in emotional intelligence, and timeless human behavior. You see, women, just like all of us, remember how people make them feel. If your words reach that emotional core, she'll carry the memory of you far beyond the conversation. And here's the beauty of it. You don't need to be flashy. You don't need a perfect body or a fancy title. You just need presence and the courage to speak truth with warmth and clarity. So if you're tired of being overlooked, if you're done with playing it safe and still ending up in the friend zone, this might be the exact shift you've been looking for. Because when you speak with intention, when you stop chasing and start resonating, you stop being forgettable. You start being magnetic. And if that sounds like the kind of man you want to be, take a second right now to support this channel. Hit that subscribe button. Because the more we grow, the more men we reach. Men who are ready to stop settling and start rising. Let's begin. Let's unlock the words that make her feel something she hasn't felt in a long time. And maybe something she didn't even know she was looking for. Let me ask you something. When was the last time someone truly saw you? Not just noticed your clothes or complimented your smile, but paused, looked at you, and acknowledged something deeper, something real. Now imagine you're that person for her, and you say, "You have a unique way about you." I like that. It sounds simple, but don't be fooled. This phrase hits different. Because while most men chase with "you're beautiful" or "you look amazing tonight," she's heard that before 100 times, from 100 guys. And honestly, it barely scratches the surface. But when you say she has a unique way about her, you're not complimenting her looks. You're recognizing her presence, her energy, that subtle thing she does that most people don't even notice. Maybe it's the way she tells a story with wild hand gestures, or the fire in her voice when she talks about her passion project. Maybe it's the way her laugh catches you off guard. The moment she hears it, something shifts. You've triggered curiosity. What did he see in me? What did I do that stood out? That question stays with her, and that's what makes this phrase powerful. It lingers, plants a seed that grows long after you've left the room, not because you were trying to impress, but because you noticed something most people overlook. That's rare, and women don't forget how rare feels. But here's the key, timing. Don't toss this line out like a pickup trick. Wait for a real moment, when she shows you who she is, not the version she posts online, but the real stuff. That's when you slow down. Look her in the eye with calm, grounded energy, and say it, softly, sincerely. You have a unique way about you. I like that. She'll remember that moment, because for once, someone didn't just look at her, they saw her. Let's be real for a second. Most guys, when they're around a woman they're drawn to, do something predictable. They start performing, agreeing with everything she says, laughing a little too hard, trying to be the guy she'll choose. But what if you didn't need to be chosen? What if you weren't there for her approval, but to see if she meets your standards? That's where this phrase comes in. I like women who know what they want. It's not just a compliment, it's a shift in energy. It says, "I'm not here to impress. I'm here to see if we align." And trust me, that's rare. Because in a world where people try so hard to fit in, the one who stands firm in his own values stands out. This line works best in moments of authenticity. Maybe she confidently orders what she wants at a restaurant, or shares a bold opinion. Maybe she talks about her goals without hesitation. That's when you drop this line, slow and steady. No flattery, no approval seeking, just calm observation. I like women who know what they want. She'll hear those words, and feels something deeper. Not just validation, but a challenge. Not, does he like me? But am I living up to that? You see, when you express a clear standard with quiet confidence, it makes her pause. She begins to self-reflect. Am I decisive? Am I confident? Am I the kind of woman this man respects? And right there, without a game, without pressure, you've flipped the script. You're no longer chasing her. Now she's leaning in, trying to understand you. That's not manipulation. That's emotional gravity. Because women aren't just attracted to charm. They're drawn to clarity. And when a man knows what he values, it creates space for something rare, mutual respect. So next time she stands in her power, don't just smile. Let her know with calm presence, I like women who know what they want. And then, let the silence work for you. You know what's rare these days? Being seen. Not just for how you look, but for who you are. Now imagine you're talking to a woman. She opens up, maybe about her work, her values, or something that lights her up inside. And instead of nodding and moving on, you pause, really see her and say, that's what I like most about you. It's quiet, but it lands like a thunderclap, because most people notice what's obvious, her appearance, her style, her smile, but very few take the time to acknowledge what's underneath, her conviction, her empathy, her spark. This phrase is powerful not because it flatters, but because it reflects. It becomes a mirror she rarely gets to stand in front of. When you say, that's what I like most about you, you're telling her, I see you, not just your face, your fire, your truth, your edge. And in that moment, something subtle but profound happens. She softens, she leans in, she trusts. You're no longer just someone she's talking to. You become the man who noticed something others didn't, and that makes you unforgettable. Let me give you an example. Maybe she's talking about how she mentors younger women at her job. Maybe there's a certain gentleness in her voice when she talks about her family. Or maybe she just made a bold decision that reflects deep self-respect. That's your cue. Look her in the eye, pause for just a breath, and say with quiet certainty, that's what I like most about you. No theatrics, no embellishment, just grounded truth. Let it hang in the air. That silence afterward, that's where the magic happens. Because now she's not just hearing your words, she's feeling them. Most compliments are forgettable, but the ones that reflect someone's essence, those echo for days. So if you want to leave a mark, not on her ego, but on her heart, remember, don't compliment what everyone sees. Compliment what no one else took the time to notice. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can say isn't a compliment, it's a challenge. A calm, subtle invitation for someone to step into something deeper. That's exactly what this phrase does. I don't know if you can handle me. Now, on the surface, it sounds bold, maybe even playful. But underneath, it's a statement of depth. Because most guys go out of their way to be easy, approachable, predictable. They try to win approval by making everything smooth and effortless. But you're not trying to be easy. You're trying to be real. This phrase works not because it declares your worth, but because it suggests complexity, that you've got layers, standards, energy, and maybe a little fire she hasn't seen yet. It works best when she's confident, when she's teasing, joking, or showing her bold side. That's when you lean back, smile just a little, and say, I don't know if you can handle me. Then let it breathe. Don't explain. Don't soften it. Let the mystery do the talking. Because here's the truth. Curiosity is magnetic, and what you're really doing is breaking the script. Most women are used to men who fall headfirst at the first sign of attention. But when you calmly shift the energy, when you subtly imply that you're the challenge, she starts wondering, what is it about this man I haven't figured out yet? And that question sticks. But here's the key. You have to live it. This line only works if it's real. If you say you're not for everyone, you can't go chasing after approval 2 minutes later. You have to hold your energy steady, calm, grounded, clear. Because the most attractive man in the room isn't the loudest. He's the one who doesn't need to prove anything. So next time she steps up with confidence, meet it with your own. Smile, pause, and say, I don't know if you can handle me. And just like that, the dynamic changes. There's something quietly powerful about a man who knows his worth. Not in a loud, boastful way, but in the way he doesn't chase, in the way he doesn't fold just because someone shows interest. And that's exactly what this phrase communicates. I'm not that easy. Now it might sound like a flirtatious comeback. And yes, there's a playful tone to it, but underneath, it's a boundary. It's a gentle but firm reminder that your attention, your presence, isn't something handed out to just anyone. Use it when she's testing you, when she makes a bold joke, or acts like she's already got you wrapped around her finger. Most guys would stumble, whether laughing nervously or trying harder to impress. But you pause, look her in the eye, smile, and say it, calm and collected. I'm not that easy. Then let the silence breathe. That's when something clicks. Because suddenly, the script flips. She expected you to chase, but instead, you set a standard. And here's why that works so well. Most women are used to being the ones who decide. They're used to men jumping through hoops just for a little attention. But when a man says, without ego, I don't give myself away that quickly, it makes her pause. It makes her curious. It makes her earn your interest. Not because you're playing games, but because you value yourself enough to not be impressed by charm alone. Think about it. Do you want someone who wants everyone? Or someone who's selective, intentional, and self-respecting? That's what this line is about. And when you say it with grounded energy, not arrogance, not defensiveness, she'll feel it. The calm, the confidence, the self-control. And that energy, that's rare. That's magnetic. So the next time she leans in a little too bold, don't get flustered. Just smile and let her know, I'm not that easy. You're not being difficult. You're being deliberate. And that, my friend, is unforgettable. Here's the truth. The right words, spoken from the right energy, can change everything. Not because they're clever, not because they're rehearsed, but because they come from a place of real presence. These 6 phrases we've covered, they're not tricks. They're reflections of something deeper. Your standards, your clarity, your emotional depth. When a man speaks from a place of inner calm, when he's not trying to impress, not chasing, not performing, people feel it. Women feel it. It's not just what you say, it's who you are when you say it. Think about that. You can walk into a room without saying a word, but if your energy is grounded, if you carry quiet confidence, you'll still be heard. That's the real magnetism. These phrases, they're just the tip of the iceberg. They're entry points. Simple sentences that reflect the deeper work of becoming a man who doesn't settle, doesn't shrink, and doesn't hand out his value for free. So if you found this valuable, do something powerful. Hit that subscribe button. Because this channel isn't here to feed you empty motivation. We're here to raise the standard, to build a generation of men who are clear, confident, and grounded in their worth. Men who stop trying to be nice enough and start becoming undeniable. Let's change the game, not with noise, but with truth. And if that speaks to you, welcome. You're in the right place. Let me tell you something that most people never say out loud. Perfection is boring. That polished, always saying the right thing, Instagram filtered version of life. It doesn't connect. It doesn't spark anything real. But when you look someone in the eye and say, I don't need perfect, I value real, you send a message that hits different. You're telling her, I'm not here for a performance, I'm here for connection. This phrase is powerful because it gives permission, it gives space for her to be human, to breathe, to show the unfiltered version of herself. And in a world full of expectations, that is liberating. Most men chase the idea of the perfect woman because deep down, they think that's what makes them valuable, having the perfect partner. But the truth, a high-value man doesn't look for perfection. He looks for someone who's genuine, who can laugh at herself, be vulnerable, make mistakes, and still show up fully. When you say this with calm confidence, maybe after she shares something awkward or admits an insecurity, it shifts everything. She feels safe, seen, and strangely drawn to you, because you're not just a man who accepts flaws. You prefer the realness. That's rare, that's grounding, that's attractive. So next time the moment feels human and imperfect, lean in. Smile gently and say, I don't need perfect. I value real. You'll You'll be surprised how much that truth opens hearts. Let's flip the script. Most people walk into a room trying to be admired. They wear the best version of themselves, like armor. But here's the thing. Admiration is often built on image. An image fades. Understanding, that lasts. When you say, "I'd rather be understood than admired," you're saying something radical in today's world. You're saying, "I don't need to be impressive. I need to be seen."